Here we are again. Welcome back, everybody. I don't know what time it is, where you are, or what you're doing. Um, so those things are irrelevant. Here's where we're at today. All right. Manipulating the public. So, I don't think that when uh, media, all different flavors, uh, be it print, stream, the old television. So I don't think when it all began, you know, years ago, that it was sincerely to manipulate us and our goodwill and our freedoms and our liberties. But as I mentioned recently in something else, we have a tendency of following what we see, um, doing like the masses. Um, and I guess my point to all this today, here and now, is think for yourself. Don't allow yourself to be manipulated. Weigh out your pros and cons in, well, any topic, but especially at Samuel Clemens, we are at the forefront of political thought and societorial movement, and that's pretty much what I would say is, gather the facts and make sure they're facts, uh, and then just try to get through the nonsense. So, for my 2 cents, I read the news that I obtain because if I listen to news anchors, they have slanted tendencies. Now, the print I read also probably has slanted tendencies. For me, when I read it, I hear it in my voice, in my mind. And so at least I feel like I'm less manipulated, manipulated, and it allows me to kind of assess and gather my own thoughts and make my own conclusions. I think that that's part of the beauty of having all of the freedoms and liberties that we, the people, have in this amazing country. Um, Now, I also go on to say that I think that manipulating the public comes in many different forms and varieties. With our freedoms and liberties, we should be able to choose um, our elected officials without any drama. So what I mean by that is, let's look at their words, let's look at the content of their character, let's look at their track record. Let's find out what's real and what's not. But I don't know why there's a little D next to, well, you know what? I can make a simple point, and therefore this is simple. So our current President Trump, next to his name on almost anything you touch, there's a little R. And then our President-elect Biden, on almost anything you look at, next to his name, there's a little D. Well, there's more to this American society than D's and R's. There's more to the political structure than D's and R's. Um, so why have them there at all? It's a manipulative resource because if you find yourself identifying as a D or an R, then you're more likely to continue to follow the path of the D's and the R's. So just be cognitive of stuff like that, and that's the type of stuff that we want to talk about, and that's the type of stuff that I want to kind of move the envelope, and I'm going to say erase the smoke and mirrors. We are smarter than the manipulation. We are certainly smarter than the television screen. So that television screen put together a 30-minute entity of news for the public. And then there's each one of us with our individual mind, our individual thoughts, and we get to acknowledge what we've seen and then develop how we feel about it and how we react to it and how we act to it, or if we don't react to it. Okay? But the news, print, stream, television, your phone, however you get the news, it should not foster you feeling sad, mad, disappointed, angry. It should give you an opportunity to provoke thought and contemplate what you heard. And if you agree, well, cool, I guess. And if you don't agree, you don't have to agree. Okay? We don't have to, we the people do not have to push the narrative that the manipulative resources want us to have. Um, that's the great thing, again, about all these freedoms and liberties as an American citizen, that we get to make our own choices. We get to garner our own rights, our own wrongs. And by going through these processes and understanding that the manipulation occurs, we stand a chance of fighting it, beating it, and telling it to stop. It's not going to work anymore. We're not going to operate that way. And look, just another great instance would be, I don't recall which elected official. It was sometime in the last 8 to 12, 15 years. And I don't remember which talk show host, but somebody based out of New York and during non-coronavirus, but they walked out into the city. They started interviewing people. But they had shifted the stance and the party in the name. So I don't have any good examples here, but I mean, anyways, basically, as soon as this person heard that this elected official said it, even though it was a ruse, then they said, oh, yeah, absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. But it wasn't this person who said it. It was the opposite person, because they wanted to show that nightly talk show. It wanted to show us, it literally, like what I'm talking about, it wanted to show us how easily manipulated we could be, how we followed the masses, how we voted for a name instead of rights, positions, and then we also voted for one of those D's or one of those R's. So, I mean, just trying to start something. I'm just trying to move something, just trying to give people a little bit more of how I see the world, because I want our eyes to be wide open. I don't want any of us to manipulate any of us. I want it to be super transparent, super straightforward, super honest. And I don't know right now if we would utilize those words with some of our elected officials. Honest, straightforward, transparent. So if I was to end this shortly, here and now, that's what we should start to expect and demand from our elected officials, the ones that get their high-paying posts from our voting. We should expect honesty, straightforwardness, and transparency. And when we, the people, don't receive it, we should understand it as deception and manipulation. We should let that elected official know on all the forums, on all the stuff. And then at the voting box, I don't care if you're a D or an R, I'm not voting for you now or next because you tried to manipulate us. I have a sound feeling in my heart and gut that the elected officials, or well, that the officials that will become elected who start to push this narrative, this truth, this honesty, this transparency, the lack of manipulation, these people are going to start to make a huge difference, as government is always evolving and revolving. That's where I'm at today. I hope you guys are in a great place. Stay safe, stay happy. Till next time, Samuel Clemens.